And welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to talk about getting your Hellcat or your Scat Pack at MSRP, or even possibly at some point this year below MSRP. But today I have the cop car, and I don't have my Dodge because my Dodge is in the shop first getting a service, but then there's some clicking sound when I back up, which is really strange. It's happened on two of my other Chargers and Challengers. And this one, it just got a little bit worse. When I turn and I'm going straight at a slow speed, it'll tick, 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 but definitely in reverse. And if I turn it, goes tick, 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 tick. So I don't know if you've had that issue or you know what it is. Certainly it's all over the forums, and a lot of different reasons people are saying that it happens, tied to brake dust or brake wear or brake something to do with the brakes. So they changed my rotors, and now they're changing some other parts to get rid of it. It looks like they solved the problem, but they can't get the parts. So it's going to be in the shop for another week, and I am headed to St. Louis at the middle of this coming week, and I am taking the cop car. I'm taking this to visit our friends in Illinois, right outside of St. Louis, and we're going to have fun with this thing. And I'm going to film the trip and the adventures along the way, and hopefully this thing makes it, because it's a 100,000-mile Crown Victoria, but it's been perfectly well maintained by the Getty Museum, who owned it before I got a hold of it. So it should make it. I've had it serviced. I got brand new tires all the way around. So we're in business to get this thing going. But I've got to get out of here in a couple days because I've got house sitters coming to watch the house. So if any of you think that I am announcing my vacation so you can come and jump through my windows, just know that would be a very, 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 very extremely wild and crazy, bad idea.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Nonetheless, let's jump in the cop car since I don't have my Dodge and talk about the 6 ways you can get a Hellcat if you're serious about doing this, if you're really committed to it, at or below MSRP. And I should unlock the car. Oh, by the way, I added a couple more Not a Cop stickers, and I added the light bar cover because there's a couple states on my way that probably have less of a sense of humor about retired police cars, like Texas, I believe. They don't even want you to have the lights or the sirens or anything in the car. If you do, I believe they can take you to jail or do something horrible to you, tase you on the side of the road. Oh! I don't know. Still kind of foggy on what the laws are in other states, and even though this is a California car, I just want to avoid ending up on the side of the road in really, really hot weather, putting my hands on the back of the car while the cop yells and screams at me for driving this thing around. So it is ultra legal at this point, should be fine. But now let's jump in the cop car. All right, so before I get started, if you have not watched my other videos where I share why I believe the Hellcat prices will come down and why I believe they'll be at MSRP and the markups and add-ons will go away as this year progresses, then go watch those videos. I don't want to reiterate all those. I do want to just slightly reiterate the point that I believe this is going to happen, and one major reason is interest rates. They keep getting worse, and now the Fed's saying they're going to probably make them even worse this year. So as this year continues, financing a car is going to be very challenging when it comes to, 1, getting qualified, and 2, the interest rate. That is going to cause some problems. When on top of it, we will and currently are having layoffs, and also a lot of the high net worth people who were absolutely making lots and lots of money are now not making that money and having to pull from their savings, pull from their retirements even, because they can't pull from their house anymore because it would cost way too much money. So all those people who are planning on just tapping into their equity, yanking out some stocks, pulling some savings, or financing a car at 2 or 3% or even 4%, those days are gone, and it's only going to get worse. So I'll tell you many other reasons, go watch my other videos, why I believe this is going to happen, but I don't see that there is anything on the horizon that is going to change the fact that just simple affordability is going to kick in. Even people who were willing to pay the markups are going to call BS. And what's happening right now is we're finding out, and I'm getting more and more messages from a lot of you, that your car arrived and the other one you had on order that you put in your wife's name, you backed out on. So this is interesting. There are people out there that ordered from 2 different dealerships under 2 different names in the same household, and one of them's backing out. This is pretty wild. Now, other people are ordering them under their own name, and they're still backing out. So dealers are getting stuck with standing inventory. And if you watch my other videos, there's lots of these cars showing up, and dealers who are not charging markups are able to sell their cars and get liquid really, really quick on those expensive assets they now have sitting on their lots that are costing them money to have them floored. So I believe we're going to be in good shape. And here's why. I believe that I have to have some level of validation to be able to make this point to you all. Otherwise, I'm just making things up. And I'm telling you, I can sit here and put on the screen. I have to go back into my messages and start screenshotting like crazy. But people are getting these cars more and more and more at or below MSRP. Most at MSRP. One recently messaged me that he did give in and bought the extended warranty, but he wanted that anyways, and he knew that the dealership would make the money there and get rid of the markup as long as they got the frankly overpriced extended warranty, but at least he got something of value out of it, considering he's planning on driving the heck out of the car and owning it for a very long time. It'll at least have some worth to him. So that's a fair, understandable reasoning. But when you pay $5,000 for window tint or something stupid like that, then I believe you're just asking for being buried in that car, or even any level of markups. And some of you keep messaging me, what about $5,000? The dealer just wants $5,000. No, I would still hold out. Think of it like this. If the dealer had it at $25,000, some of them had Hellcats at $50,000 over. If you watch my last videos, I recorded these people saying this stuff to me. Then now they're at $5,000. If that doesn't scream desperation, I don't know what does. They are, again, waiting around for the biggest dummies to show up that'll say, okay, I'll pay that. So I'm going to share with you the 6 ways that even one gentleman that I'll share with you in a second used these strategies to get his car at MSRP, and he's going to get his car and he's going to be totally in the money on that car and in good shape. Versus some of you, hopefully you didn't, but if you paid a markup, you're going to find yourself buried in that car. So let's jump right in and let's talk about the 6 strategies. Strategy number 1, stop believing slick salespeople. Stop it. Use your brain. I'm imploring you to not believe what they're saying. They are trained. They have sales meetings. Many dealerships have sales meetings every single day on going through the scripts, the dialogues, and the strategies to get customers to pay more for the cars. You and I are not trained in those strategies or even on how to combat those strategies. So when we hear them, we tend to believe them. Some of us, we want to help that salesperson make the sale because we want that car. That means we're going to get the car. So we listen to their lies and deceit, and we get FOMO. And if you get that FOMO created by the most likely false and misleading statements of the car salesman, then you deserve what you get. You're going to end up paying more for the car. And they know that in the heat of the moment at the dealership, anything they say to you is going to push you closer to making that deal. And the longer you're at that dealership, the more you're tied to the sale and the better chance they got at rolling you with a 10, 15, 20, 25,000 or more markup or slipping add-ons in during finance or somewhere along the way, and you will be so tied to that sale that you'll leave and get hosed. So here's the deal. First thing, walk in and just assume. I'm sorry if you're a car salesman, but here's the deal. You're not all bad. Some of you just say anything, and if you watch my channel for a while, you've seen what these people say. They say anything. They tell you the car is going to appreciate. It's going to go up 3 times in value. They tell you it's the last one they're ever going to get. It's the only one in the zip code. You're never going to get this car in this spec. This color is ultra rare. This one has the features that no other car has. There's not another one built. I looked it up in the system and it's one of 3 in the nation. And you get all caught up into that and you fall for it, and then you purchase that car way over what it's worth, and it's terribly sad when that happens. So don't listen. Just assume when you walk in there that everything they say is a lie. If their lips are moving, they're lying.
What's your name?
Stanley Dwowski.
Polish, eh? What a coincidence. Rudy Polanski, how are you? Hey, I like that watch, Stan. Great shoes. Love them. Thanks.
So Stan, you want to buy this Buick Centurion, huh? Good choice. Smart man, you got good taste. I'll tell you something, a lot of people don't have these days.
Just assume that. Don't hate them for it, because they're just trying to do the deal. They're just trying to get a deal and make a bunch of money. And you know what? Some of them just trying to feed their families. I don't like how they're doing it, but just know they're lying. And just keep telling yourself that they're lying. You'll listen to it and say, well, that makes sense. There's probably no more Go Mango Challenger Hellcats anywhere in the world. This is probably the only one. So, you know, $5 grand's not too bad. I'll pay $5 grand, and I'll pay the other $2,800 for the Scylla Jet and the door edge guards. Don't fall for it, okay? That's it. That's number one. Number two is put in the footwork. Go to the dealerships. Remember, these dealerships are getting, I don't know, hundreds of calls every single day from people. And sometimes it's about many other cars on the lot. But most people who call aren't serious about buying. They're fishing. They're starting to think about it. They're looking for some magical quote that the person's going to say that they'll sell them the car for right out of the gate when they call them on the phone. It's never going to happen. And here's the deal. I've been in sales my whole life, and I can tell you, when people are calling on the phone, you can hear in their voice whether they're for real or not. And the reality of it is 90+% of the people who call on the phone will never show up at the dealership to buy the car, which means there's no way you're going to get down and dirty with a car salesman over the phone. Not only that, keep this in mind. Just because you started with a salesman on the phone, let's say you start with Charlie, and Charlie, he seems really nice, and Charlie's like, yeah, you know what, I want to sell you a car. When can you come in? That's the first thing they're trained to do, is try to get you in the dealership. And Charlie's going to say, you know, can you come in today? Can you come in today? Can you come in today? And you're like, no, unfortunately, I'm working today because I have a job to pay for this car. So I could come in on Saturday. Well, it's a whole new crew on Saturday versus a guy that works Monday mornings versus a guy that's scheduled to work on Saturdays. Saturdays and Sundays, I believe it's a different crew, a tougher crew, more experienced crew. So what happens is you call in, you get that information, you say, okay, Charlie, the only time I come in is on Saturday. So that's cool. He registers you. You show up to the dealership on Saturday morning and you find George. Now, George is no joke. George eats people like you and I for lunch, for breakfast, every single day. Doesn't matter. He wins. He's the closer. He's the guy that's popping, 20, 30 cars a month. He's rolling. Nobody gets to sit in front of him and walk out of that dealership without doing a deal.
What's the story?
I don't know, man. Took this guy on a test drive. Said he has to go home and talk to his wife before he does anything.
We'll see about that. All right? Why don't you just bring that car up, put it in sold lane.
Now, sweet little Charlie, who was new on the job, who just wanted to get a sale and was going to tell you anything to get you in there. Now George is going, hey man, I got to charge you more. Well, here's why. Because he's probably got to split the deal with Charlie now. Because it started with Charlie. So now you walk in there and George knows I'm going to get paid half the money here, and Charlie's going to get some of the money on this thing. And I need to get way more on this thing. Now all of a sudden he became very much more difficult to negotiate with, and even his manager knowing, well, I might have to pay two guys, depending on the dealerships, they're all different, but they're going to hold more firm. Besides, these are the most talented salespeople, and they're going to grind you. I've always said this. One of the best ways to get a good deal on the car is go when the dealership opens, during the week, when the worst possible shift for selling cars is. Let's just say Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning. I've bought most of my cars that way on those days, and I'll tell you, the salespeople are very different, and the sales manager is bored out of their mind, and they want to make a deal while they're on the shift. But here's the deal. Remember, strategy number 2 is walk into the dealership. Go to the dealer. Go in person. In person, you're going to have a much better chance than talking to them on the phone. You can call and, say your name is Albert and, try not to give me your number, but the system will already pick up your phone number, and then you'll start getting harassed right away. It doesn't matter. And by the way, even if you block your number, if you call an 800 number, it automatically unblocks your number for them to capture it. So just don't think that you can call in and then come back in a few days later and maybe that, and that deal's not going to be split with somebody. That happens. It happens all the time. So you need to cold. Look online, see what they've got available, and then go to the dealership in person and walk in and start negotiating. I'm going to share with you a script to use in a second. Now let's talk about number 3. Number 3 is almost a 2A, if you will. But number 3 is, if you can't find any cars within driving distance for you to go into the dealership and you have to call, then go ahead and call, but plan to go out of state, to go far out of the area to get the car. Now, the risk with that is unless you can get that deal done before you go there, they aren't going to take you as seriously. So you've got to start that call with, "Hi, my name is Brad. I am pre-approved for my loan. I'm interested in your Hellcat. I would like to make you an offer and secure the car today." You got to get that aggressive and not jerk around with them on the phone, or they will not take you seriously. So when you're calling around and asking about cars in areas you're willing to fly to, or long distance areas you're willing to travel to, and you want to get that deal done before you get there, tell them straight up, "I am pre-approved for my loan. I am absolutely ready to buy a car today. I will do this thing online with you, and I will schedule to fly out there tomorrow. This will be an instant deal. It'll be very quick." Certainly, your negotiating leverage is not as good as if you walk into the dealership in person, ready to go, but that's another option if you can't find cars in your local area. But be willing to go outside the area like I have with, I think, 3 of my cars. I flew to Illinois, and I bought those cars there, and I didn't pay any markups while the rest of everybody in California were paying markups. Now let's talk about number 4. Number 4 is be ready, willing, and able to purchase the car, meaning you got to be ready, so you're ready to do the deal. You walk into that dealership, be ready. You're willing to do the deal. You don't have to say, "I have to call my wife," or "I have to call my friend," "I have to call my partner," "I have to call, ask my mentor if this is a good decision." Don't say all that stuff. That just ends the negotiation, and it frustrates the salespeople, and it takes them off point, which is the excitement about getting you into this car. You need to be ready, willing, and able, meaning you need to be pre-approved for your loan. Go to your credit union, go to your bank, go online. Doesn't matter, have a pre-approval on you. You can print it up or have it on your phone, because you're going to actually show them that when you get to that dealership. But being pre-approved will get the deal done. I'll show you a text message right now from one of my subscribers, Sean, where he used this strategy and got a car for MSRP. I'll put it up on the screen right now. He said, "I only came across 2 dealers that were willing to sell at MSRP, but unfortunately those allocations were already gone. One that I came across was $14,400 over MSRP, but after listening to your YouTube post, I used your idea of securing my financing letter of approval from my credit union. I started using that letter as my negotiating tool. One of the dealerships I had dealt with prior to your posting was the dealership that you said sold a Swinger at MSRP. So I went back with my financing letter after a week of holding out on them, and they gave me MSRP. I secured the deal with them yesterday." So that is beautiful, right? So he secured a car now at MSRP using this strategy. Went in with his approval. So don't go in there and hope they're going to finance the car for you, because that opens up a whole new level of BS, if you will. So try not to cuss, of BS that they can screw you on. If you walk in with your pre-approval, let's say your credit union gave you 6% or 5.5%, and you're really happy with that. You walk into that dealership, you can tell them, "If you can beat this, I'm willing to go with your financing." Meaning, I already have this. I'm a cash buyer as far as you're concerned. But if you can beat this, I'll be happy to go through your financing. Number 5, make that salesperson invest time. Remember, their strategy with us is to have us invest so much time that we start to think, well, if I've been here for 5 hours, I better leave with something. That psychology has been used on us forever, since car dealers have been in existence. So here's the deal, reverse it on them. When you tell them you're there ready, willing, and able to buy, you have your pre-approval, you have your checkbook, you're ready to boogie, and then you take their time. You keep saying, "I'm leaving in a car today unless you screw this up. I want that car." Go test drive the car if they'll let you. Go sit in the car, turn on the car, play with the car. Take your sweet time and burn as much time and keep telling that salesperson, Boy, I'm going to love driving this thing home today. I sure hope you guys can make me a deal. I'm ready to do this thing. I mean, I am done. I'm good. 800 FICO score, pre-approval. I've got my checkbook. I hope we can get this thing done and just keep asking him questions. So tell me about the Uconnect. Like, you already know about it. Tell me all about it. Take as much of his time on your terms as you possibly can while continuing to say, you got a sale. This is a sale. Don't worry. You guys are the only ones that can screw this thing up. I'm going to do the deal. I'm excited about this car. This is my dream car. This car I've always wanted. Tell me more about it. How many services come with it? Is there any packages you put in? Does this thing have this feature? Does it have that feature? Can you explain this feature? Take as much time out of them as you can so that, one, he keeps thinking it's worth it because you're real. You wouldn't spend that much time if you weren't going to leave with the car. But you know you probably will leave without that car. And you are sucking all that time out of him. And he's hoping a deal's going to be done. If I put this much time in with this buyer, boy, I better get a sale out of this. Just like they want us to feel like, well, if we put this much time in the dealership, I better leave with that car. Reverse it on them, take as much time as you can, and then you'll make your offer. And we'll talk about that shortly. Number 6, make them your offer. Make them your offer firm. You go from being the fun, nice guy on the dealership floor, you're walking around, you're laughing, you're being cool. When they offer you water, you take the water because it's something they think they're indebted, getting you indebted to them. I mean, it doesn't matter. They offer you a cookie. You don't eat cookies, eat a cookie. And they are tied to this sale. And now you say to them, I just love the car. I'm so excited. Let's do this deal. And pause for a second and he'll go, okay, just like that. Yeah, man, I want to do this deal. And he'll go, okay, great. Well, let me get the paperwork going and everything else. Awesome. Just want to make sure the price is, $82,351, right? Well, let me check on that. There is a markup. There is a market adjustment for $15,000. Oh, yeah. I can't pay that. Obviously, it doesn't make any sense now. I mean, not in this economy with these interest rates, and I'm pre-approved. I'm ready to go. Let's just get rid of that and just do this deal. Well, I need to talk to my manager. Awesome. If he says, well, they're not going to do that, would you go talk to your manager, or can I talk to your manager? Or could you just tell him, like, I'm here with, basically, essentially a suitcase full of cash, ready to drive away in this car. Would you just tender my offer to them? MSRP, tax and license, we're good, let's go. Nothing else, no add-ons, that's it. So $82,350 or whatever the price is. That salesperson will say, well, let me see what I can do. And he'll go back. And there's a good chance he's going to come back and the sales manager is going to say, nah, nope, can't do that deal. Go back and tell him we'll come down to $7,500. And he comes back and tells you $7,500, and you look at him and go, look, here's the deal. And this is what I said to one dealership when I bought my second Scat Pack, or my first Scat Pack. I said, listen, here's how this is going to go. I've already invested 3 hours with you, and I've grown to like you and really appreciate you. And I, frankly, this has been a pleasurable experience up until now. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order a pizza from Domino's, and they generally take about 30 minutes. If that pizza shows up before you and I have a deal, I want this to be a win-win situation. You're going to get a pizza, and all your guys are going to get a pizza, and I'm going to leave. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that order in right now, and then we got a race to beat the pizza guy. We get a deal done. We can do this for the next 3 hours if you want. You can go back and forth, but here's my deal. I'm not going to do that because I know how that ends up going. If you guys aren't serious about selling the car, I need to go find someone who is. And I mean that respectfully. I like you guys a lot. So you want me to order the pizza? Or you want to go back and tell him that I'm going to order pizza? That way, at the very least, you guys all get to have some pizza. They don't want pizza. They want the sale. But I'm going to order them a pizza. And I told that kid at the Dodge dealer I bought my Scat Pack at, I'm ordering the pizza. And that kid's like, no, wait, don't order the pizza. Let me go talk to him. And when they came back, I ended up getting the deal that I had presented to him at the beginning without a 3-hour tour. And they thought it was cool because I wasn't joking. There was really going to be a pizza that showed up. So here's the deal. Tell them that. If they come back and say they can't do it, here's the magic. Walk. Have them, they'll always walk you out. Have him walk you out. walk you all the way out to your car. Walk nice and slow. And he's going to keep trying to say, what if we did this? What if we did that? Come back in. Let me talk to the manager one more time. Maybe we can call the owner. Maybe I can stand on one leg. What if I throw in more cookies? I mean, they're going to say all these things. Get to your car. Get into your car, shake his hand, give him your phone number, give him your contact information, have it already written on the back of a piece of paper. If you have a business card that you always carry around, give it to them. Make sure they have your phone number and just say, listen, I gotta go look at another car. I found a couple, obviously, today. I was really hoping this would be the one. Whoever does a deal today at MSRP is gonna get the sale. I would expect that I'm going to do the same 3-hour tour at another dealership, so you probably have about 3 hours to change your mind unless they roll over. Where are you going to go? I'd rather not say that because I suspect you guys are all in cahoots together. So I'm just going to leave that out, okay? And just know I'm willing to go out of the area if I have to. But if you guys change your mind, I don't care if I'm halfway down the street. I will turn around, come back, and we will do this deal. Fair enough? If they let you go, that's okay. They're playing chicken with you. And that sales manager doesn't think you'll leave, because most of us run in there and lay down, give me the car, I'll give you anything, whether it's $25,000 over. I just won, it's the last one ever built, it's the last Hemi. Oh my God, I'm never gonna get one if I don't get it now. They're used to that crap. So they're not believing you're really gonna leave. You leave that dealership and you take off down the street and then wait. Like with this guy, it might take a week. It might take 2 weeks. There's a good chance with a big markup that car is just sitting there and you let them call you. Now, if after a week or let's say a week and a half, that car's still not sold, call that salesman and say, hey, look, thought I'd just check in with you real quick and see if you guys wanted to do the deal. I still haven't gotten the car secured. I'm kind of heart set on that one. Do you want to do the deal? But play it like that. You don't need the deal. You don't care if you get the deal. You'd really like to get the deal, but you're not going to pay over MSRP. And frankly, you can do this with under MSRP. It just, right now, it could be, until we get deeper into this year, it could just be a little bit harder to get the car if you're trying to hit them below MSRP. But you can try. It's worth a shot. That's the 6 strategies. So now let me share with you a script I wrote, and then we'll end this video. So I wrote down this script that I've used forever, and it's different versions of it. Make it your own. But I believe that we screw around too much when we show up to car dealerships and we say, well, I'm just looking. And the salesman's like, jeez, what the hell are you doing here then? You know, it's like when the car salesman comes up to you and says, can I help you with something? You're like, can I get a ham sandwich on rye? It's like, why the hell am I here? I'm here to buy a car. So I always tell them, I'm here to buy a car. I'm here to buy a car. Let's just get that out of the way. And I plan to buy a car today. So here's the script. The script is real simple. Hi, my name's Brad. What's yours? My name's Mark. Nice to meet you, Mark. So I'm looking to buy a Hellcat today, or a Scat Pack, whatever it is, and I'm pre-approved with Navy Federal Credit Union. Check this out. Hold your phone up and show him your approval. Show it to him. And I brought my checkbook for the down payment also. Pull that out of your pocket, which I used to have in my back pocket. I'd pull it out. And my checkbook, I got my pre-approval. I'd like to buy a car. I noticed on your website you have an indigo blue, you know, Hellcat red eye, or whatever it is. Is it still here? Oh, yes, it is. And you know that it's marked way up. That doesn't matter. Forget about that. You're just saying, you're tying him to, I'm here to buy a car. I'm ready to buy the car. Short of having all my cash in a suitcase, you're pretty much that dream buyer walking in the door. Like, it's a sale. Here's how his brain goes. Even a brain that thinks he's supposed to negotiate with you and lie to you and try to cheat you, his brain goes straight to, this is a sale. This is unlike anyone else that showed up and says, oh, I'm here to look. I'm here to wander around the dealership. I'm here to waste your time. I'm not serious. I'm buried in my car. My FICO score is 400. All the things they think, you just eliminated all those things that most of these salesmen have to wade through before they find out this information. You gave it to them right up front, and that solved that problem. So you said, I've got my checkbook. This script, and I wrote this down, so I'm going to read it. This script, so I don't screw it up. This script will set the tone for the rest of the process, letting him know you're the real deal in his head, and we'll jump right to visualizing his paycheck versus being skeptical about you and your ability. Some people don't like my strategy. They think it's showing all your cards too soon. I understand the human psychology. I understand salesmanship. I understand sales. And here's the deal. The fear of loss is more powerful than the hope for gain. When you show up to the dealership and they see you, they believe, they're starting to think, well, I got a hope for gain. I hope this person's real. I hope this person's real. Well, the problem is most of the time they're not real. You've eliminated that. You've taken them to the end right at the beginning that they're going to get a sale. So now the emotion they're going to be going through, the psychology, the entire process you're going to take them through is the fear of loss. Because in their mind, they've got the sale. The sale's going to happen. So now they're going to be trying to save a deal that they believe they already have, that they don't want to lose, versus trying to make a deal that they never had. That fear of loss is much more powerful as a human emotion than the hope for gain, and you will be more in charge of that entire transaction, that entire negotiating process. But remember, stay firm. Don't do the deal. Be willing to walk out. There will be more deals later on. You will get a deal on that car. You do not have to pay markups. You do not have to pay over MSRP, and you do not have to pay add-ons. So with that, everybody, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the road next week with some new videos in the cop car. Take care. Bye-bye.